I felt really bad because at one point, a friend of mine, maybe like a week before Burning Man, was like, he like posted on Facebook. He was like, I got a ticket and I really want to go this year because someone who I care a lot about who's like terminally ill is going to go. And I want, like, I just want to go out there and have like one last good year with so-and-so. And I was like, fuck yeah, if you got a ticket, like, you know, show up with like some camp dues and like you can camp in our, like, we got room. So we like put him up in our camp kind of last minute, and I was like, went to the Illville Mayor's. I was like, hey, we have a late edition. They were like, yeah, it's fine. We're a huge village. It's fine.
No big deal.
Yeah, they were like, as long as this.
One more person. I don't know. Let me look at the ledger.
Well, it was more like one more person. Are they bringing an air conditioning unit? And like, no, it's
What's
fine.
their power needs?
Yeah.
And so he came out, and he was out for God, maybe a full 24 hours. And I get out of my shift pod one morning and I look over and he's got a mask on and he's like stuffing his stuff in his duffel bag. And I'm like, no! And turns out we'd all been kind of hanging out in the same group the night before. And a bunch of our friends were like, hey, we're going to go hang out in so-and-so's trailer. Like, you want to come along? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
That is a closed space.
Smart.
And we are not doing that unless, like, we are just handing out the rapid tests like fucking lollipops. Like, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And, like, I felt bad for having this kind of hard line about I felt bad for having boundaries, which is, like, a totally healthy thing to feel. And then that happened. I was like, oh, I did good. This is paying off.
Boundaries are worth it.
Yeah, boundaries are magic.
That was actually my secret goal of Burning Man this year, was to hold my own boundaries that I tell everyone else to hold. Because it's actually hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to have your boundaries and feel good about them, or even state them out loud sometimes.
There are definitely a couple mayors in Illville who are kind of chronic overworkers and will overwork themselves to death.
People who
Shocking,
run
right?
giant villages in Burning Man are chronic overworkers. Next, you're going to tell me they're type A personalities.
Oh, right? No, none of those.
No.
None of those.
Heard of.
But a lot of what brings me joy at Burning Man is helping other people, like, maintain those boundaries that they communicate to other people of like, no, I'm just going to grab you right now and we're going to go have a like Bloody Mary in our shade and you're going to not run around for like 5 minutes. Like, can you do that for me? Okay.
Look, if you relapse, you relapse. Come on, we're doing this.
We have a whole team that's their job, is to make people sit down and enjoy themselves sometimes.
It's an important role.
Yeah.
Agreed.
This is Accuracy Third. I'm Beth.
I'm Rex. Damn it.
Shit.
I'm D-Day.
Which one am I? Beth? You? Help. I'm Rex. I'm the one that's Rex, in case you were wondering.
And today we've got one of Rex's friends in the studio.
Yes, we do.
New friend Casey.
New friend to y'all, intermediate term friend to moi.
Fresh off the boat, right into the studio.
It's been a minute since Casey was on the boat. But it was not very long after I made friends with Casey that she went on the boat.
How do we introduce something that we all just did?
Casey was a charming guest. We made a charming little podcast. Wouldn't you say, Beth?
I mean, Casey made it easy for us by continuing to go back to the story as we derailed her over and over again with clarity and focus that I cannot ascribe to any of us.
I mean, there's a spectrum at this table.
It was really fun. It's so nice to hang out with someone who's so cool. Like, everything that she dropped, I was like,
Well, that's legendary.
yeah.
Well, that's legendary. Well, I didn't wait in a line for that.
And it made me so self-conscious about it. It took us like an hour to get back around to actually talking about DDR because it's so innate to my early Burning Man experience in my early young life that there's only one real DDR.
I was on a date the year that they had the Charcade, and we were going to go in and do like the movie thing where you go to an arcade together or the carnival and like do fun date stuff there. But everything was a line. So we walked around it and marveled at how cool everything we weren't going to do was. And then we left. And then we stood in the line for the very scary, gigantic Ferris wheel.
So you're telling me you failed to win your date, the giant stuffed sparkle pony?
I think winning in that situation is getting to the front of the line and letting them do it and then not making them wait for you to do it.
Winning. It's getting out of lines.
Now here's KC.
First off, are you Casey for this recording, or do you have a pseudonym or a blind name that you would prefer?
No, Casey is kind of. There are people who know me on Playa as K-Dot, but I don't think that that's actually like. I don't think I earned that Playa name. If you can earn Playa names,
I mean, you can definitely
You
earn
absolutely
Playa
can.
names. The ones that are earned are usually earned in ways you wouldn't wish upon a friend.
yeah, right. No, for all intents and purposes, I'm Casey.
Great. Perfect.
So in 2019, I camped in Illumination Village for the first time. And then I camped there again in 2022. And Illumination Village is like one of the old guard of theme camps, right? Made up of many, 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 many small camps. So I think
Yeah, you're a proper village.
yeah, like it's huge. Like it is a huge village. I think we were at something like 300 something people in 2022. It's just
Wow.
like a massive amount of people.
300 spread amongst how many camps?
Ballpark 15 to 20.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I really like that.
That's a good subdivision, yeah.
There are bigger camps and smaller camps and camps with kind of different offerings, and some are like it's a mix, right? Because we have like Flaming Lotus Girls have a big contingent, and like they're clearly an art support camp for like whatever they're bringing that year. You know, we have a bunch of fire artists too, right? Like we have our little garden of fire sculptures, and Lucy Fur with the Dragons of Eden, like she always brings a crazy array of stuff. But like some of those are sculptures, some of those are mutant vehicles. And then we have other people who are like bringing their mutant vehicles, and we have like horror s'mores making s'mores, and they're in Illville for a reason. Like it's really, I think it's grown to like include a lot of different camps.
Can you just, I'm like sitting here, I stepped into a larger role in our village, and I'm like, now I'm just fascinated by the infrastructure. What are your shared resources?
Oh man, so that was kind of how I came into it in 2019, because my then friend, now partner, had been tasked to kind of help with a bunch of the like electrical grid infrastructure. So like one of the byproducts of having a village that includes like a bunch of electrical engineers and like different flavors of engineers and like marine electricians is you end up with this like crazy badass grid, you know, power distribution.
Nice. Overbuilt.
Totally. But it's like, it's not overbuilt because it's just like people building things to spec that they understand, and like the way that they understand how to build things.
And you can never overbuild on Playa.
You really can't. So yeah, I got roped in because my partner Sam was like, hey, like, do you want to just come like help us like crimp cables and like build the grid, and like that'll be your contribution? I was like, yeah, sure.
So you got in doing power grid work for the entire village?
I mean, I was helping with schlepping the stuff there and kind of setting because we half built stuff off Playa, and then there was a bunch of like, we need to make a bunch of cables kind of on Playa. But also like stepping back a little bit more, all the previous times that I'd been to Burning Man, I was working on like big fire art installations with like, you know, 50 other people, and it was like art support and like building and running fire art. I didn't go for a couple years because I was like, all right, I've had that experience. Like it was really
I could go on other
rewarding.
vacations.
Yeah, like it was really rewarding, but it was really hard. And in 2019, Sam was like, we can just build like my little sculptures that I've already made that are like single, you know, operator flame effects.
Right.
And he's like, you can like go and run fire art at Burning Man and not be part of a like 50-person death march. And I was like, novel concept. He's like, and we also need help with our like, you know, grid infrastructure if you're down.
You can do this differently than the kind that is just dragging yourself through the dirt to make it happen.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if this is a real thing, but like I'll see. I'll like go and see if that. Yeah, and it was great. Like in 2019, we had frontage on Esplanade as we had for like 25 years, and so everyone kind of put their fire art at the front, and we would just have these like ad hoc, you know, like who wants to run their fire art tonight, and like, you know, Lucy's got her calliope, the like flaming pipe organ, and all of her kind of percussive big fire instruments. And then like we had a couple sculptures over on one side, and yeah, I was like, oh, this is great. Like I can just, you know, run art when I want to, and like people will show up and like be excited about that. That's novel.
Instead of spending the entire week building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but you asked about infrastructure, and like that was the other thing that kind of appealed to me. It was like, I don't know, I'd never camped in a camp or a village that had enough power to like just have it be available, which was really, really different. And like,
Decadent.
yeah, and like we ran a freezer and like we ate really well because we had a huge chest freezer full of food. Like it was like, oh wait, this can be nice. Like this can be
So a kitchen was part of like shared resources?
No, not even that. Kind of every camp is kind of responsible for their own
Huh. Okay, so what are the shared resources of Illumination Village?
power and showers.
Power and showers.
Power and showers. That's like the
And placement. Like
And placement.
you've
Well-
got an address.
Well, I mean, that was the big, I think that was the draw for a bunch of people historically. And then in 2022, we got placed not on Esplanade for the first time in the village's history. And we're at 3 and F.
Wow. Ways out there.
It was,
That ain't bad. That shit goes out to like J or K now.
yeah, I mean, it felt bad this year, I think just because people fear change.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Everyone real butthurt about change this year.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'd never camped on Esplanade outside of camping with Illville there in 2019. So I was like, I don't know. I guess it just sounds like I ride my bike a little bit more. Like, yeah.
How did it go? How did it feel?
It was challenging for sure. I definitely had fewer people like show up and like come visit me because they were just, I think, used to Illville being like accessible on Esplanade.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big difference between, I'm going by that camp where my friend is.
Yeah.
And
I am
where
going
the fuck
to
are you?
3 and F. Yeah, and it was funny too because like this was the year of that bigger block between E and F.
Oh, God, you were right on the huge block, too.
I mean, we went from F all the way to E. So we
did
were like
we.
a huge swath, right? But then at the corner proper of 3 and E, there was like a sound camp.
Oh, good.
Placed kind of inside Illville. So like if Illville is like an L like this, there was a little sound camp in kind of the crotch of the L. It was weird. They were really nice. They were like
You were nestling them.
yeah, but I also like a couple mornings woke up to like weird Balkan electro pop. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was the same song. It was like their morning wake up song every day. I'm like, motherfucker, can you not with the accordion?
Yeah, can we not all wake up right now? Thank you.
But no, I mean it was fine. I think there were things that like we can improve as a village as far as flow goes if we get placement like that in the future. But also like I don't know, if you're talking about a village that is predominantly based around like a bunch of very loud fire sculptures, then like Esplanade's kind of perfect for that.
Because it's loud. It's not pointed at anything.
And you can point all those things at Inner Playa.
Yeah.
And then like when you start, you know, like when Lucy starts rocking out with her like flaming guitar and like she does a whole show and it's incredible. Like her shit is so different from like so much of the other fire that's happening at Burning Man. And like she's like an OG. I mean, she's been doing this since like the 90s.
Is that Lucy with the metal car with the flaming pipe organ in the back?
Yes.
Lucy is one of the first people I ever met at Burning Man that I didn't know already.
Lucy is a fucking legend.
Yeah.
And like when she lights up her stuff, like it is, I mean, it's unlike anything else that's on Playa, but like her frontage this year basically looked onto 3 o'clock. So every time she would start lighting up, like people stop and just watch, right? And like 3 o'clock that's an access road for emergency services.
Yeah.
Like ESD is right there, right? So all of a sudden it's like now we have this huge puddle of bikes just in
The road.
But there's also no way that we can like turn that frontage inward because no one would ever
see it
come
or
in
come
and
in.
see it,
Yeah.
right? And then, you know, because of the fire in the village, we have to have like kind of an access road that cuts through. People thought it was 3. So we had people just like driving
Oh, I
through
know
our-
the pains of having an access road.
It's just, you know, it works when it's on Esplanade. It works when it's like a road kind of cutting through from Esplanade to A.
Yeah.
But like, because we can kind of create our own plaza around that and really make it look like this is not a driving road. This is like a inner art plaza in our village. And, you know, I'm talking all this like I've spent a bunch of time like laying out Illville and all that, which I have not. I'm just like...
You appreciate the design.
Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time sitting in my camp this year just thinking about like what was working and what was not working, which I think kind of everyone in Illville was doing.
I think that's something that a lot of people in Black Rock City were doing this year.
Yeah.
We were trying out a lot of things that had worked in the past, and suddenly they weren't working, and we were thinking, now what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it was kind of a bummer because like the way that we had to kind of figure out placement within the village, right, meant that our camp was kind of basically looking onto E. And so we had our sculptures kind of set out And, we like lit up a couple nights, but like you're just kind of playing to an empty room, right? Like you're playing to an empty street of people who are like
by 3 o'clock. Yeah.
I was bummed about it. Like it was like I was sad. Like it was the first time that I've ever run art at Burning Man and walked away from it and thought that wasn't very rewarding. Like that didn't feel
Just because you didn't hit an audience?
Yeah, and I mean, it was just kind of our like sculpture. We brought one sculpture this year, which was the other kind of not bummer, but like Sam usually brings like 2 or 3, and we just brought one, which is this delightful thing that Sam built many years ago called Angry Tree, which is a pipe-looking tree thing, and there's a blower in the bottom and a propane feed. And so that's a forced propane air effect. So instead of just like flame, instead of just like poof, it's this sustained percussive like of fire.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we've got powder feeds in there full of like, metal salts and metal powders.
So you can flash colors.
So you can flash colors and sparks, and it's really like it's a really satisfying thing.
Yeah,
to
that
run.
sounds like fun.
But this year it was just like, I don't know, you want to run Angry Tree tonight? I guess we could run Angry Tree tonight. Like, yeah.
If it wasn't for like finding the audience, did you like the neighborhood? Or were you always biking half a mile to get to anywhere?
I spent a lot of time doing that.
Yeah.
If I'm really honest, I spent a lot of time trying to like get out of that neighborhood so I could find my friends that were placed elsewhere.
I never found any friends.
I found like the same friends over and over again. And by the third time that you run into someone on Playa, I feel like I'm like, all right, yeah, we've done this. I want to find other people.
Oh, I ran into so many folks that I worked with for a week and a half before the event, and like no trip to somebody's supposed location of their camp panned out at all.
That's what you get for even attempting. That's
Fine.
foolishness.
Maybe I should like feel less bad about friends not coming all the way into
Oh, yeah.
Illville to find me this year.
Yeah, I tried to find fucking friends at like 9:45 in J.
Yikes.
It was like 90 frustrating minutes that I just could not detach myself from.
Oh, but the neighbors, like the neighbors were all lovely. For some reason, in between 3 on E and like, I guess 215 or whatever, like the next walkover was, there were like 4 independent, separate grilled cheese camps.
Oh, yeah.
Wild.
And like, I don't know if that's like an intentional thing that placement is
Grilled
doing.
cheese
of like,
row.
Yeah, like this is the grilled cheese neighborhood. Get used to it.
That's
But, like,
very funny.
But it was so funny because like I'm a big believer in I stand in exactly one line at Burning Man.
Is it the midnight poutine line?
No, it's whatever it is.
You just have a 1-line limit.
Yeah, I have a 1-line limit.
I
Like I will
respect
stand in
that,
line
yeah.
for one thing. And like you never know what it is until you're in that line and you're like, oh, this is the thing. This is the thing that we're waiting for. But, I would typically like come back to camp, and if I wasn't feeling like making dinner for myself, I just see which grilled cheese had the like shortest line.
Nice.
Because they all kind of did stuff at the same time this year too.
Right.
So it was like,
It was like a food court.
God, that's a really horrible way of putting it. But
It's a
you're
really good idea, though. So everyone is talking about how incredible Golden Guy Alley was.
Yep.
How to fucking wreck that. Instead, make a food court of just the worst on Playa.
No.
snacks.
It's got to be.
You
It's
gotta
got to
put in
be.
a tile floor.
It's got to be a revival of all the like mid '90s food courts. So we got to have like a Sabraro.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
We got to have like an orange
Panda
Julius.
Express.
Orange Julius.
Orange
Oh,
Julius
that
is very
a
important.
Stomachache.
Yep.
It's just a stomach ache.
Yeah, Auntie Anne's.
I found-
This is all pre-Cinnabon. Nothing good like Cinnabon.
Wait, was Annie M's the like giant cookie cake?
No, Auntie Anne's
That
is
was
the
Mrs.
terrible bready
Fields.
pretzels. But Mrs. Fields, yeah, we need a garbage cookie shop.
Someone much more industrious than us should really try to show up Golden Guy Alley next year by
a shitty
making
food court.
making the like buffeteria food court.
I think you just build a food court and you make it look like at some point somebody's going to be serving food there, but you just build it and walk away.
Oh, so it's always empty.
Yeah, with a sign that says that like the food court will be open tomorrow at 9.
That's so much effort.
Yeah.
So much effort for like.
It would be
don't know if
pretty
the
funny.
payoff's worth it.
I wouldn't see it. I'm going to be out enjoying Burning Man.
It'd be pretty funny to build a false dead mall out on Deep Playa.
that's
Just,
what I was thinking,
just like
dead
movie
mall.
facades of empty storefronts.
It's also a really good theme.
Dry fountain and fake plants.
Yeah.
Mall.
Well, the theme is dry fountain, I think.
Oh my God. You can make a village out of that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the theme this year is Animalia, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hear me out. Build-A-Bear Workshop theme camp.
Ooh. All right.
But it's like build a bear like furry suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those are expensive, but I find if you just bring a bunch of stuffed animals and cut off their limbs, then you can sew different limbs on the stuffed animals. So it's like a build a like mutant.
Yeah.
bear.
And then this goes into
Mutilate a bear, we'll call it.
Mutilate a bear.
Yeah.
Frankenbear.
But all that stuffing would get like real moopy. Real
Oh,
Stuffed animals are both the best and the worst when
Yeah, it wouldn't be our camp. We would run the camp from the second floor.
You'd have to do it real right. You'd have to like cut off all the limbs beforehand and seal the gap, and then maybe add Velcro.
Free ideas, people.
Oh, that's this podcast all the time.
Yeah, we're just handing out like theme camp ideas left and right here.
obviously other people want theme camp ideas. You know what I find is often someone with a lot of money and a lot of friends just begging for a theme camp idea.
Yeah, it's too bad people with a lot of money and a lot of friends don't listen to this podcast, or they could make a couple of our dream theme camps for us.
Honestly, that's not the recipe we want. We want somebody with a lot of money and not enough friends.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think you've just like
That's
hit on
suspect.
plug and play camps in general at Burning Man, right? People with money who don't have friends.
Yeah, but we don't want to exploit them for our own financial gain. We just
don't?
want to exploit their finances for our own creative benefit.
We want to exploit individuals that we love and respect instead of creating services for people who have a lot of money.
We want to collaborate with our over-resourced but under-creative members of the community
I don't know, man.
who would like to co-create with us an experience based on bears.
I mean, I'm
money.
sure this is how Elon Musk also pitched his art car. So
Yeah, I mean,
too soon?
no, not soon enough. It's really a shame what happened to him. I can't believe he got run over by so many cars last week.
You wouldn't even think that many cars would be able to run over one person before he was just a paste. But
Yeah.
Market Street was closed from like 2nd to 11th for 5 hours.
Oh man.
So was 2019 was your first year in Illumination Village?
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I felt a kind of very different vibe this year from human beings. Like, we also had a different map. Like, everything changed, which was good.
Yeah.
Personally, I had already perfected that last version of Burning Man and now ready to move on to figuring out a new one. But, like,
A brand new failure-laden type of Burning Man.
oh, we're going to
Full of
fail
fails.
so hard over the next few years.
Fail better, fail differently. Which is what we should be doing, I
Yeah.
think, in general.
We're going to have to disenfranchise a lot of volunteers between now and then.
So, what other things changed for you? Like, how did it feel different this year for you?
I mean, this year, like, I really stepped up my personal infrastructure
Nice.
in camp. This was the first year that I camped in a shift pod, which
Oh,
was
yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Also, like, pro tip, shift pods are so fucking expensive, but if you set a Craigslist alert around like post Burning Man time, really easy to find cheap ones.
Smart.
Yeah,
Makes
so
sense.
like I got mine for $500.
See, we exploit our wealthy members of the community.
Exactly.
They buy a shift pod, throw it away because they decide that Burning Man isn't as cool as their stupid friends think it is.
Yeah.
But this is how Rex got a
Real nice TV.
real nice TV that has 3D options that no one wants to use for any reason.
This is how we got some like really nice furniture for our house.
Yeah.
After a bunch of tech offices closed, I was just like, I guess the other like pro tip is just like be a Craigslist troll. You know, I set a lot of alerts for stuff that I want. But yeah, like camped in a shift pod for the first time, which was awesome. We bought a shade structure from John Serigati, Black Rock Shade. Totally worth it. Like we probably could have figured out how to fab all that ourselves, but like paying someone who's like a good person in our community to just like
Drill the holes in the pipes for you.
yeah, and like custom fit everything. Like it's a really like it's improved too. Like it's a really nice shade structure now.
Yeah, they used to be hot trash, I hear. I don't know anything about them.
We camped the people who were in the sound camp kind of next to us. I think had like a version 1.
Right.
Like, they were riding the struggle bus.
I didn't even bother having shade this year. I just had a hot tent. I used to have air conditioning. I had air conditioning for like 6 years. This year, hot canvas tent.
Yeah.
It was not great.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I did the hot tent for like years, and I don't want to live that way anymore, and I don't have to live that way anymore.
No.
I had a bed up off the ground.
That
So
makes-
like I leveled that up. That was great. But
That
it
is
was
the
a very
best
hot
first level
bed.
up.
Yeah.
Very hotbed.
Oh, and 2 swamp coolers that were aimed in because the shift pod has like the
intakes.
So I just like doubled the, Pliotech like swamp cooler build and like made 2. And it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was a hot year having a thing that you can go into that isn't the worst.
But yeah, and those actually came in really clutch because one of the other things that I did was a friend lent/gave me some old like 12-volt batteries and a like inverter. So I was able to we had kind of backup power for the grid power, which seemed excessive until we got skipped over like 2 days in a row for fuel delivery, and the generator ran out of fuel, and everyone was like freaking out because their air conditioning didn't work.
Ooh, yeah.
So I had my own shift pod. My partner has his own shift pod, and we have kind of our separate spaces so we can stay sane while camping together at Burning Man. And so he had like a full, 120-volt AC in his shift pod, and I had like my little basically off-grid setup in mine. So when the grid went down, we just like decamped into my shift pod, and it was great. So like having a backup plan, like fucking amazing.
I wonder if next year is going to be as bad with the supply chain stuff, or if this was like peak.
Oh, I think society is really getting its act together, Rex.
Yeah,
Everything's going to be
we've
fine in
got this
2023.
solved.
Yeah, we got this. Yeah, we're shutting down the rail strike. We're making sure workers get whatever the hell we decide they get. Everything's going to be great.
I got to go to bed.
I think we're going to have similar struggles just because like, at least for what I kind of gleaned from listening to like conversations about like what got fucked up and how shit got fucked up. A lot of it was like drivers for the trucks full of ice getting COVID and like being out sick. And I think that if there's one thing that I have like seen the pandemic change in a good way, it's that we expect fewer people to do their jobs when they're like ill or contagious.
Except for rail workers.
Yeah.
Right.
They just have to work.
There's still room for improvement, but I think like generally
There's no people in the engine except the people in the engine. And are they really people?
The community at large has really reshaped its
we have a different relationship with this now in a way that like, next year, if like the driver for the diesel truck is like, I'm puking my guts out and I can't make it. I gotta wait another, we will not expect that person to drive that truck to Burning Man.
Yeah.
Right. At least that's my 2 cents. We'll see. I might be wrong. I might be totally fucking wrong. About
Are you going back with Illumination Village? You have so many ideas about how to make it better. Are you going back with them?
I mean, maybe, probably.
Yeah,
We'll see.
you'll see.
I might also, there's so many other ways to do Burning Man. Like,
Maybe it's time to experiment even more.
yeah, and like my partner's been camping in that village for like 10 years, and I think he might also.
It might be time for
that's a
him
long
to-
stretch doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we're kind of. I mean, we're honestly trying to figure out if we even want to go to Burning Man this year. Shocking, I know. I've taken breaks before, so.
We all took a little bit of a break.
Yeah. Well, and that was the funny thing in 2019. I was like, I'm ready to go to Burning Man again in 2020.
Yep.
I like this again. And then, sorry guys, I like monkey pod the pandemic. Like, bummer.
I do think there's something kind of satisfying about everyone being so excited to go back in this year, just being a punch in the face.
Oh, yeah. You
Just
wanted to
like-
do this again?
Yeah, just like, no, fuck you. It's going to be super hot and super windy and super dusty, and you're all going to get COVID.
Did not get COVID at Burning Man.
Ah, fuck
Nice.
you.
Good job.
Which I feel kind of bad about because at the very.
Oh, don't. I also didn't get COVID this year. It felt great. Yeah. Yeah. 50% of this room rocked Burning Man this year.
At the time we didn't know. Walked around like bashful ghosts. Swell summer under my famous green raincoat. Stay up late, watch the news, practice with ironic dance moves. Those were days of gold, no one told.
So how did you get drawn into this cult in the first place?
It's not a cult. If you leave, you can still be friends with us.
Yeah.
It is cult adjacent.
Well, my first burn was 2013. But before that, I'd actually gone to Japlaya a couple times. So I'd had the experience of like what it's like to camp in this environment. And one of those years, we actually brought out another fire sculpture, another interactive piece of fire art to Japlaya just for us, just because we wanted to. And so, like, weirdly, I'd had the experience of camping on Playa, and I'd had the experience of, like, running fire art and building fire art on Playa. But, like, it was just for us. It was just for the small group of friends. And then, like, I got to do that again in 2013 for, like, 80,000 people.
Your full group of friends.
Yeah, it was lovely. But, like, even going a step further back, even before Playa and all that, a lot of my family lives in and around Reno. And so I had heard about Burning Man, I think from my aunt and uncle who like went to Burning Man and like lived in Reno. And like I was like a kid. And so it wasn't cool because it was just
What
that
your
thing.
aunt and uncle's doing.
Yeah, it was like that thing my aunt and uncle did. It was like, yeah, all right, I guess. And then my brother had a long career working as a firefighter and paramedic in like Donner Pass, Truckee area. He'd actually gone to Burning Man as like medical back in the, I guess it was probably before ESD was kind of like fully self-contained. And like they would just kind of contract out like local companies to come work the event for like medical support. And he must have done that in like late 90s, early 2000s. And I remember him telling me about it, but his take on it was very much like, yeah, I got paid to like go deal with a bunch of hippies on drugs in the desert. Like, it was kind of like that was not his idea of fun.
Right. Yeah, the stories you got from him are going to be all of people acting very stupid.
Yeah. I mean, and like his idea of fun was definitely like, you know, slamming a six pack and going four-wheeling. Like that was
Mudding.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to go mudding?
So like Burning Man.
like Playa. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I think he would have gotten a lot out of Playa.
I mean, Playa is a lot of city folks doing shit that country folks are doing like all night and weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like a like blue collar cosplay. Yeah.
Go out someplace to be dirty and like play with toys in the woods.
Yeah. And like I remember the first Playa I went to, like a bunch of my friends who were into guns, like brought out guns, and went to synagogue and like did the shooting range. And oh my God, it's a fucking frog bat, kill the fucking frog bat. Like, yeah.
Guys, we need to do mudding fair, like Dickens fair, just blue collar cosplay.
Ooh.
Like we rent out Cow Palace, and then we just give everyone like broken down stalls in which they can sell single cigarettes, single eggs, and natty ice.
We do it right after the monster truck show, so they don't need to clean the dirt out from that.
That's just setting ourselves up for success right there.
I think so.
And I said I didn't know how to do shtick, but I think I could do fucking redneck cosplay.
I mean, if you want the best of both worlds, the thing, it's funny, that just totally reminded me of the last thing that I did before the pandemic. There's a convention, I'll like, air quotes, convention called, well, I forget, I think they changed the name. They like adjust the name every year, but I think it's Winter Blast or some variation of that, which is put on by the Western Pyrotechnic Association.
Oh.
And it happens in Lake Havasu City, Arizona.
Oh, boy. Oh, fuck.
And it's a pyrotechnics convention. So it's geared towards professional, like, pyrotechnicians. And there's a small contingent of burners who go to this thing.
Dave X, I'm sure, is
Dave
one.
X is, Dave X is there, and like Black Rock FX, like Wally Glenn, like there's a very, very small little niche of burners. And then the rest of the people that go to this thing are people who are like, I fucking love fireworks because I fucking love 4th of July and I want to make a fireworks display for 4th of July. And like, it gets really xenophobic with like people who hate the Chinese because they've like undercut the price of magnesium. Like, it's fucking weird.
Wow.
But that was the last thing that I did in February 2020. And
Cool.
The last thing I did was go to a taping of a reality television putt-putt golf tournament where I watched my partner's brother sink a hole in 2 strokes at 4 a.m. in fucking the hills outside of LA after he'd been dumped in the water because you have to do a challenge between putting.
Television's a nightmare.
Yeah.
But the pyrotechnics thing was like, I was like, oh, this is like Burning Man, but for like people who are like really into America, right?
Yeah, we went to the
Las Vegas
regional, and there's a bunch
Synergy.
bunch of ranchers.
Yeah.
But they're all like
There has always been a solid redneck contingent
Yeah, they're-
in the Burning Man culture. It's small, but it's
I
significant.
would say I think it's more of a and like there are a bunch of rednecks in Millville too, like
Yeah.
like for real. But like there are also a bunch of I would say like I think there's a libertarian kind of undercurrent.
Oh,
which,
yeah,
like,
no,
ties
that-
a lot of that
that's-
together.
Yeah, they're
Did I-
Mountain West rednecks.
Yeah,
They're not like
But they're
Eastern Seaboard
they're-
rednecks.
You get my bored rednecks out of your mouth.
they're pleased hippies in a way of like enjoying the party and the fun. I just don't know
Some
if
of
they'll let us into their bunkers later.
yeah. I'm definitely not getting let into
Yeah.
any of those.
The bunkers are not for letting people into, Beth. Like, what kind of fucking childish opinion is that? Tell me you're a city slicker by asking to come into my fucking bunker, I guess.
I would also say the Vegas regional had more feral children than I had seen. So, you got to take better care of your children at Burning Man because they'll just die.
yeah,
Like,
or like break an arm. Like I've seen a bunch of
like
kids
this.
break
This
limbs.
was a little bit more dangerous because it had hills and fucking barbed wire everywhere.
But
And then there's
it
these
was also small. Like you could see
Small.
from one end to the other.
you could.
When a kid starts wailing, you're gonna like have to go
Everyone's
figure out if
ears
it's your
kind of
kid.
perk up. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst thing about having kids.
having worked with kids on boats for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I'm only now kind of untraining myself from the like, oh, trouble, kid in
Yep.
trouble. Someone else's problem.
Tell us any stories you have about child failures at Burning Man because I like a good hurt child story.
Oh man.
As long as they're okay in the end.
I mean, I don't have kids, and none of these kids are kids that I'm responsible for.
Right?
Best-
That's the
best
best kind of
son.
story.
Kind of
Yeah.
good. But Sam taught one of our friends and like fellow Illville campers kids how to like hotwire a golf cart.
Nice.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And so like, and he's a little older
Agent
now.
of chaos. I like it.
Given that the only golf carts allowed out there are for the staff, and occasionally
And
some
like
disabled
occasionally I think they have a disabled placard on the one that kind of shows up in Illville. But no, like the kid's older now, but like you'll still kind of like catch him out of the corner of your eye, like tearing through Village on a golf cart. And I'm like,
Good.
Hell yeah.
should I do something? Nah, it's fine.
Nope.
It's
Yeah.
fine. This is just so and so being so and so.
I got to rock a golf cart a little bit this year, and if I had come out and found it stolen, I
Would have hoped it was stolen by a 9-year-old.
I would have been pleased to know it was stolen by a child.
Man ever. I wish I had more kid at Burning Man stories, but
We have a
stay away.
couple of kids in our camp, and we won't talk about them because they're minors. But one of them,
At the time we didn't know. Waiting for your wings to grow. You were gonna fly all the way to Tokyo. Nothing stops you, nothing scares you. I try my best to meet you there.
The first year I went, I got roped into helping bring out a kind of legendary piece of fire art.
oh, I like this already.
It was people that I'd met kind of when I moved to San Francisco in the Bay Area. I just happened to meet a bunch of people who were involved in this art group called Ardent Heavy Industries, which grew out of another group called Interpretive Arson. That was kind of the
Good name.
yeah, it was.
Interpretive arson, that's so good.
Interpretive arson was great, but like it's really hard to get insurance on your sculptures when like
Yes.
arson is in your name. Like for some reason, underwriters are just like, I don't know about this.
Feels iffy.
Yeah, it feels weird. Maybe we shouldn't be underwriting this insurance policy. So interpretive arson kind of grew into and evolved into this group called Ardent.
For insurance purposes.
Well, and also like they started building different art that like wasn't necessarily fire art. The podcast we were listening to on the way to Burning Man this year before we like lost connectivity was the you don't have to like all the art episode.
Oh, yeah. You can download that shit.
Yeah, well, I didn't, but we managed to make it all the way through. And I remember one of those, that guest whose name I forget.
Ranger Firefly.
Yeah, y'all were talking about a sculpture that was like an upside down thing of cubes that was like a Rubik's Cube that you had to solve. And like you hated it because you couldn't figure out how to solve it.
Right.
That was something that Arden built. And I was like, they're talking about Syzagrid. They
Great.
thought it was a Rubik's Cube. It was
Yeah.
not a Rubik's Cube.
Well, it looked like a Rubik's Cube.
That was like the last thing that we heard before we hit play. And I was like, they fucking thought it was a Rubik's Cube. Oh my God.
Yeah. And at the meeting, I told them that everyone was going to think it was a Rubik's Cube, and they didn't listen to me.
So we brought out this piece called Dance Dance Immolation.
Oh my God.
God, I love that.
It's the best.
It-
Hooray.
your first
Tell us more
dance?
stories about your art. Beth, stop interrupting. I'm shouting now.
So that was, I forget, I think that might have gotten built for the first time in maybe 2007.
That's the
I
year
saw it around then.
into it
Yeah.
in 2007.
Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. So I'm keeping my story straight. It was 2007.
Yeah, that year it was like on Esplanade at like 2:30.
Probably. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
I saw Mutator play there for the first time ever. It's burned into my memory, as few things are.
So, like, DDI had been out for a number of years. I think they brought it out maybe 3 or 4 times, and then, like,
Sounds about
a
right.
bunch of fire art festivals in the Bay Area. And then, like, they flew it to Sweden, Denmark, the Danes. I should know that.
Dane Immolation.
Yeah. They made.
Wow,
they made,
that's almost the title. Let me write that down.
They made special stickers for that run. So the sticker slogan that Interpretive Arson has used for many, many years is "It was on fire when I got here," and they were like, "Oh, we should make this in in Danish for the Danish run," and like they just plugged it into Google Translate without thinking about it.
Didn't talk to a Danish person.
And so they brought all these stickers and like showed them to some of the Danes, and they were
Fuck my party time.
oh no, you guys don't want to hand these out. And they're like, why? What does it mean? And they're like, well, it says it burns when I come.
That's fucking right, it does.
Then you absolutely want to hand
Yeah, I want that sticker more than anything.
So never trust Google Translate if you're like trying to go for it.
You can't stop giving me titles for this episode.
So like DDI had been out for a couple years, and then they built something called 2PyR, which is personally my favorite thing that we've ever done that I would really love to bring out again.
I think I remember this.
It's a stage with infrared light sensors around the edge of it. And then each of those sensors corresponds to a poofer on this kind of outer rim.
Ooh.
So you can dance and move, and like fire happens in this beautiful circle around you. It's really lovely. It's also like incredibly simple. Like it just works. Like it's a simple design. So 2013, we got contacted by, and like DDI had not been out since maybe like 2009. Like it'd been a couple years. And we got contacted by a group out of Toronto, Site 3 Fire Arts, and Toten Kitten. And they were like, hey, we all remember DDI. And like it had this like huge
Oh my God, it was such
transformative effect on us. And we were like huge fans. And it made us want to like go build our own fire video games. So this year, we're bringing this thing called the Charcade.
Yep.
And we're gonna have like flaming skee ball and the flamethrower shooting gallery, and there was like a guitar hero with fire, and they were like, and we would love it if you brought DDI out. And we were like, okay, well, DDI is really old.
Yeah.
Like we can probably get one more run out of it, and then that's it. Also, like we're all kind of like, I say we all, everyone else was like, we've already run this thing on Playa like so many fucking times. Like we're all over it. We'll do it one more time. And I was like, I'd love to help out with this.
Yep.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
This is why succession planning is so important.
Or just like plan for your art to
Yeah,
to
retire
die.
your
Like,
art.
retire your
That's
art.
healthy.
And so we came back and we said, we'd love to be a part of this, as long as you're okay with us like spectacularly decommissioning DDI at the end of this.
Ooh.
And they were like, sounds even better. Love it. Bring it out.
Awesome.
So, and that year, you mentioned Midnight Poutine. Because they were a bunch of Canadians, Midnight Poutine was in our art support village.
Oh, very good.
No shit.
So, like, we shared,
cool.
Yeah, like we shared placement with Poutine. And we'd come back from DDI at like 3 a.m, exhausted, and like everyone would kind of collapse in our like common area. And then these like cheerful Canadians would show up with like a hotel pan full of poutine, like, hello.
They're so
You guys,
cute.
You guys had a good run tonight? Yeah. Oh, great. Here's some poutine. Okay, you can just bring this back whenever. Like,
When we were like half a block away from them one year, there wasn't a night during the event that I didn't get poutine and have that poutine put me right the fuck to bed.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I never saw the sunrise on the nights that I had poutine that year.
No, I put on weight that year.
I don't think that I could have had like a better first Burning Man if I tried.
Really
Just
sounds
for
like
the
it.
combination of like working on like a truly fucking legendary piece of art that
Yeah.
like, you know, like the reaction that you guys had was like, I mean, I feel that like in my soul.
It's so fucking cool.
It was so cool.
It's a thing that should kill you that hasn't killed anyone somehow.
But it was also time for it to.
I
be put
love
away.
that it got decommissioned spectacularly on Playa.
Yeah, and how did you do that?
Yeah, what was the decommissioning?
Oh boy. So somewhere I need to print out this email thread and like frame it because it's truly one of the most magical like mailing list threads on earth. But yeah, so like the call went out. It was basically like Charcade wants us. Like they'll pay for our propane, right? Like free
Nice.
propane refills, which woo,
Yeah, that gets expensive.
yeah. And they're okay with us, you know, tearing this apart at the end of it. So now, how do we want to decommission DDI? And like ideas start to pop up. Obvious one, set it on fire. Well, it's like made out of metal. Like we can't do that. Like that's not going to work.
Not easily.
We could have burned the screen, but yeah, no, like that wasn't.
Vats of thermite.
Yeah, but then it's like a metal fire, and those are really.
Oh, they're incredibly dangerous. Yeah. Yeah.
not-
But that's country shit
It's
right
extra
there.
spicy. An extra spicy fire. And so then someone was like, what if we like drug it across Playa? And it's like, no, it's too moopy. And then I think I want to say that this idea originated with my friend Arlen, who was like, well, we could Looney Tunes it. We could drop a piano on it.
Oh, well.
And everyone's like, I think everyone's first reaction was like, nah, that's too much. And then it turned into like, well, if we were going to drop a piano,
Yeah, no,
Right.
how would we do
how
it?
would we just asking for a friend? Just like hypothetical.
A thought experiment.
Does it
if we
have
were
to
gonna-
be a grand piano, or could we get away with an upright?
Well, and like the fun thing about pianos as like a means of destruction is that pianos are almost like entirely free. Like,
Oh, yeah.
no one ever wants to move it.
It is
If
so
you
easy to
move
get a piano.
You
So,
can
like,
have a free piano.
Not only could we drop like one piano, we could drop like 5 pianos. But then it was like, 5 pianos, like that's a lot of pianos to get to play. Like,
of piano.
let's save it. Let's keep it at 1. And the idea developed of like, how would you do this? And we're like, well, you know, if we're doing the like true Looney Tunes scenario, it's like DDI is walking down the street and then like a piano falls off from a tall building, but we don't have a tall building.
And DDI can't walk.
And DDI can't walk.
Yeah.
So we would have to bring the tall building to DDI. It's like, okay, do we want to build a building to drop a piano? And then someone chimed in and was like, well, like the right heavy equipment for this is a vertical reach forklift.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, seems
Right.
doable, actually, now that you mention it.
Yeah, well, and the rest is fucking history. So then it was like, do we try and get favors from Heat to bring them out and like, you know,
I think this is.
You don't even have to,
forced.
you don't have to give them favors for that.
This is.
Hey, do you
Ask.
you guys want to break some like big shit with one of those?
well, and so at a certain point we were like, well, we could probably get Heat to do this for sure. Like we could like bring them out and like have them drop a piano on it. But then like, you know, we got to coordinate with Heat and like, I wonder how much it costs to actually rent a vertical reach forklift and like have it delivered on Playa.
One of our neighbors at Burning Man found that out this year.
Yeah.
We don't know how much it was, but boy, were they drunk or high and driving that around.
Oh no.
At night.
Allegedly.
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 I think that they were just not experts at it.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't assume they're drunk and high. I'm just saying if you've never used one of those things and are trying to stack a bunch.
Then you're driving it like you're drunk or high, ain't you?
If you can drive a forklift, you can probably like
Well, absolutely. I'm
Yeah,
not
this
saying
person
people shouldn't play with heavy machinery out there. I'm just saying
I'm just saying our neighbors shouldn't.
I don't know if Heat will allow you to do what you guys did anymore.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You know, we were like, well, we priced this out and like we actually like we could budget for this. Like we could fundraise for this. And then it means that we all get to go get certified as like VR.
Oh,
Fuck yeah.
Right. So we can
Bonus.
actually, so it was great. Like a bunch of people got to learn and get certified as like VR lift operator. But now like we've solved the problem of like we have a vertical reach forklift, right?
and a piano.
And a
And a
piano.
Which we painted to look like a shark because DDI had jumped the shark.
Right. Great.
Put the shark on DDI.
So much clever in this difficulty.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets better.
Super.
Oh, it gets better.
It's already better than putting a giant fork in the playa.
So now we have DDI, we have the shark piano, we have the vertical reach forklift, and we have like the clearance to operate this thing on playa. We're like, well, what if we turn the VR into an art car, into a mutant vehicle? Right? Because then we could drive it around, not just for the piano drop,
But in general.
but like you could make an art car out of this. And so we were like, okay, well, what would be a funny way to mutate a vertical reach forklift? And someone came up with the idea of making a mobile cloud platform.
Oh, you motherfucker. Yeah.
So-
I've seen that.
So we built this actually really beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's all HDP and LEDs.
Totally looks like you didn't throw it together.
I mean, we certainly did.
Oh, yeah. But the best things that look like they don't.
Well, the cloud itself was really beautiful, but
The forklift was a forklift.
I mean, like you can only put so much lipstick on a pig. Like,
You can make it look like a fire engine.
Ooh, I think you kind of scooch around the rules there because your mutant vehicle can't be street legal.
and technically the VRs
VRs
is
are
not.
not.
Right? I think that we exploited a gray area within DMV's understanding of what people would actually attempt as far as mutant vehicles. That
you
probably will
became a
not.
reason why there are different rules now.
Yeah.
Which, I think that's a mark of success. I think that's a mark of great success.
If there's a rule in DMV for
Because of you created right hard enough.
Yes. Yeah, so we had this cool cloud platform, and we had a water tank, so we'd go around and rain on people's parades. We rained on the DPW parade, which was lovely.
Oh my God. I love that.
We also, it's all the lighting was, so all the lighting's LED with diffuser fabric, and then inside of this HDP cloud skin. The woman who we were working with who did all that LED programming hardware, turned it into a project that you can still find on, I think, Adafruit. I don't know if she's updating the code anymore, but it was a real cutting edge. No one had done the kind of LED dithering patterns in that way before. So that felt really good. I feel like we contributed to the Blinky in making the Blinky better. Because now it's everyone's running.
Some of us like the old Cubatron. Thank you very much.
I am a fire artist. This is my bread and butter. But if there are going to be Blinky LEDs out there, they should be running on fake candy.
They should be a lot better.
Yeah, well, and if more people,
If more people knew you could just get better sequences online.
If more people knew that D-Day would drag you off into the distance towards any dying bike light that has been left on the ground, they would know that.
Don't fucking cover your art in shitty LEDs. I won't ruin
or
Beth's night.
if you do something more than the default rainbow test pattern.
There's 6 different test patterns.
Oh my god.
Some of them are flash. Some of them are awful, but they're called smooth.
Oh, that was the best part. We did have Wi-Fi in the cloud because we needed to be able to talk to the iPad that controlled all the lighting and water, because we had a water tank, so we were raining on people. We also
It's very funny. You're very smart people.
well, we also had a special button that you could hit and it would start playing It's Raining Men. Only we were not
Paul Schaefer's best song.
we're not smart enough to figure out how to stop it. So once you hit it, it just played the whole way through. And it's this is really funny for the first 10 seconds. And then someone, we'd all laugh. And then the person next to you would be like, so can you turn it off? And we're like, no, just letting it roll. Just letting it run.
It's a commitment to hit that button.
Yeah.
You got to really plan your time. If you could just turn it off, it might be a fun gag.
Yeah.
This is a commitment.
Oh man. I haven't thought about the cloud in a minute. We've been thinking about maybe bringing it out again because it hasn't been out since 2013.
Oh, yeah. Bring it back.
We'll see. It's like,
But put like a Tesla coil behind it. Really hurt some folks.
oh boy. When Arden had a shop at American Steel for many, many years, our neighbor was Greg Leith,
Yep.
who has the crazy Tesla coils. He's running them now. Like he's actually like doing public displays again, which is really
good.
exciting.
Is that Dr. Megavolt?
No, he's Lightning on Demand. But and his Tesla coils were really cool because his like innovative thing was he had this huge airbag system that basically like pops them up like from the ground. So there's no like hard structure. It's just like the coil, and then you can like throw it in a shipping container and then just like deploy it in about 2 or 3 hours to like.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Engineers are smart.
I mean, sometimes to their own detriment.
Yeah. Well, they're smarter than architects.
Well, you've had too many smart architects in a room, and you end up with the Temple of Galaxia.
Some architects are engineers, and some architects are just architects. And there's space for that. There is.
I feel like my default kind of understanding of like why you shouldn't let architects build art is definitely that temple, though, in 2018.
Which one was that?
Galaxia, our temple of ratchet straps.
Oh, that's funny.
It was pretty.
Like, I can't talk too much shit because I wasn't actually there, and I know a bunch of people that worked on that. But like, I see the pictures, I'm like, y'all, what was the structural plan here?
I think that architects probably have like the same issue that surgeons and directors can have of just like your ideas are so fucking big and they're not tempered with like practical reality.
Like too focused and educated on just one thing, and it gives you like over the top Dunning-Kruger about everything else.
It behooves you to have an engineer that will be like, well, yes, you can do that. And like that will bear that weight. But these 3 things are so much more elegant than what we're going to have to do for that. And we're not like fundraising to build that fucking thing.
I mean, this is basically my issue with like what has become of temple funding and fundraising and design. Do we need a temple this big? Do we need a temple this complicated? Do we need a temple that costs $500,000?
Well, God, I had what I think was a really cool idea for a big piece of art to bring out to Burning Man. And then I did all of my calculations for how much wood I would need to build this thing. And then I did a bunch of different calculations because I was like, well, we're not going to skin it. Not for that cost. So then I cut the cost down by like fully $12,000 to $15,000. And then I was like, but how are we going to transpo it out? And at that point, I was like, well, I'm not doing this. Like, if I'm fundraising like fucking $85,000, I'm doing it for something else.
Yeah.
There are several reasons why Dave Best's temples were made out of scraps from model
And they
factories.
were beautiful.
Oh, gorgeous.
Like, let's go back to that.
Well, let's have somebody get me a bunch of that and we can skin this idea that I had. But really, the structural timbers are going to be very expensive.
Yeah. Money was no object and time was no object. And I knew that whatever temple submission I submitted would get built and funded. I would do some menacing earthworks. I would do some 10,000 year nuclear waste designs from the like Sandia paper.
Sure.
Yeah. Like, this is not a place of honor. Fuck you.
That's very cool.
With your touch, I have become obsessed. My head is delicate. From the top of the stairs, I can still.
This year was hard. This year was hard for, I mean, just like logistic reasons. You know, coming into Illumination Village has been kind of an interesting experience just because it's so big. There's so many people. And I'm so new and I'm so kind of tied to like my one little camp. Like I had the feeling this year, and I had this feeling in 2019 too, when I first became part of that camp of like, I feel like I'm in high school and I've just transferred here and it's in the middle of the year and everyone already knows each other and like has their like established cliques.
Yeah.
And also like everyone knows their like everyone else's backstory. So I'm like, I gotta now like learn like who got fucking divorced from who and like all this like
Which failed
weird
triad is now 3 different camps.
And I was feeling like kind of, I mean, that can be like a really hard thing to navigate from like an outsider because like I don't give a shit about who likes who at, you know, whatever camp or whatever. But like you cannot convince me to care about shit that is that petty at Burning Man. Like, I do not give a fuck. And you cannot convince me to try and give a fuck. Like, I don't care.
And
so,
ideally,
like,
you shouldn't have to. Like, that's a good camp. If you don't care and don't have to actually interact with that bullshit, then you're doing golden.
but coming into like a dynamic like that is like, I definitely felt like, oh God, like, is this going to be a problem that this person saw me talking to this person or hanging? I'm just like, and that made me feel kind of like, it was like the same, it was like, that's a perfect analogy of just feeling like you've transferred to a new school and you're like, oh, I got to learn the social dynamics.
I never really thought about it, but it's got to be villages have to be kind of a weird scene in that they're a big group of people made up of very distinct small groups of people.
Yeah.
With, in a lot of situations, minimal overlap.
Yeah. I mean, like, there are definitely camps within the village that, like, I could not tell you the name of one person in that camp. And I could not tell you what their public offering is. Right. Just because they were on the other side and it was a huge village of like 300 something people. Yeah. And maybe that's just, I think like that hard low point is more about my own hangups of like fitting into a new social scene. Like, that's fine. Like, that's all on me.
I think that's kind of a productive thing at Burning Man, like a space that you can safely play in. You can subject yourself to different social dynamics that make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Safely. No consequences.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only consequence is that like I end up stepping on someone's toes or like, and like that's fine. Like I just cannot care about this. Yeah, so that was kind of hard to navigate this year, especially in a year that like I spent so much time just in the village and in my own camp because it was so fucking hot.
Such a hot year.
And I'm someone that really likes to walk at Burning Man. Like I'll walk from like 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like
I'm so with you. I love hiking at Burning Man. Also, the fucking roads are ripped to shit this year, and I had a garbage bike. And it was just like, ow, 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 ow. This is so much harder than just walking. I could do this for twice as long if I didn't have to do this on all of my joints.
yeah, it was. I mean, and that 3 o'clock road too was just like hammered.
All of the radial roads
2
were
days.
beat to shit this year.
I
It
mean,
was
we just
really
had the
hard.
wrong amount of rain and the wrong amount of wind right before everyone showed up.
And 190,000 people.
I think you're sneaking one in there.
Big burn this year, guys. Real big.
What were the final numbers? Because I guess pre-event I saw some jittering about like the ticket allotment was like 60,000 or 70,000. Like it was lower.
The pop cap, I think, was the same. Like 80.
Sure.
Yeah.
So last year, 2019, was one of the most sold out, like nothing doing years.
Yeah.
Often in past years, like if we had someone who showed up, we were like, hey, this is a really good worker. Can we suddenly get them a ticket
Yeah.
and in? It would be something that might be possible.
Yeah.
2019 was nothing. We had to turn away volunteers that have been doing it forever because they signed up too late.
Bummer.
Kind of thing. And then this year, everyone was dropping out left, right, and center, right? Because COVID and worries and concerns and the org's COVID policy and all of these different things. So at least in
What we learn from EDM.com,
Yes, the trusted source.
yes, is that the Burning Man population this year was roughly 80,000 people. Police report 16 arrests, 1 death.
only 16 arrests. That's a good year.
They report
Yeah, we're
16
we're
arrests.
still probably waiting for like from the BLM numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen any official
Yeah.
numbers come out.
Yeah.
But, EDM.com can be trusted. EDM.com, your source for all the
All the
news.
boots and cats.
All the
boots and
news.
cats,
All the
boots
news.
and cats,
All the
boots and
news.
cats, boots and cats.
Well, that's the transition music. Y'all did that to yourselves.
We didn't do that for ourselves or to ourselves. We did that for you, dear listener. Now you have to leave that in.
Yeah, support us on Patreon. We can buy music from artists and then ask them if they'll let us use it on the podcast.
Yeah, so that was, I think, a long answer to the low point.
The low point, yeah. What's the lowest point you've seen someone else at?
Ooh.
That's pretty
man.
shitty, Beth.
Oh man, I know I definitely have an answer.
Oh, of course. We've all got an answer.
Feel free to anonymize it.
Oh
for
no, I'm
people's-
not anonymizing this at all because I love him. I love him to death.
Great.
My dear friend Simon, who's also part of the kind of art crew. I love Simon. I love Simon so much, and he's like a truly fabulous person. But like life has cranked up the hard mode for Simon for like no reason. No one deserves this, but like Simon does not deserve this. And he was out there real early this year and real late working on some art. And I saw his like he posted some. These are my photos from Burning Man this year, and it was like 5 photos of his multiple tents that had just like collapsed and then gotten like piled like sand dunes inside the tent. And and Simon also, like, bless his heart, he says yes to everything, including all the like truly heroic missions. So like a friend of ours got COVID on Playa this year, and Simon rode his motorcycle. Simon also gets to and from Burning Man on a motorcycle, which is
Ooh,
like,
that's hard.
what did I say about hard mode?
Yeah.
Like, and there's some hard modes that Simon chooses, but like
Yeah, that's show-off shit.
Many that he does not.
Yeah.
So he like rode his motorcycle to I think Reno to get Paxlovid for our friend and brought it back to Playa.
Well,
You know, I think if the playa had eaten all of my tents and turned them into sand dunes, I might take the opportunity to go
yeah.
my motorcycle to Reno.
But
Fuck this, I'm going to go get a hamburger and some Paxlovid.
But I don't know if Simon's ever even going to hear this, so I shouldn't.
But please tell us
Yeah, that's
more
pretty good.
about
no,
his
I mean
low point.
it's just always. I don't think that there is a low point. It's just like his way of existing at Burning Man. If I had to do it, would just be like a series of constant low points. But I guess like that's the thing that I love about Simon is that he's just like, yeah, I don't know, tent collapsed, full of sand, just dump it out. Sleep on top of my blankets. It's fine. It's hot. Like it's like not.
Does not experience the low points as low points.
I mean, I think that he certainly does, but like it doesn't change. It doesn't change the kind of person he is. And he is still probably one of the most like helpful people on Playa. Like one of the reasons that he brings his motorcycle is because it turns into his like art support vehicle. So like if you were in deep Playa working on an install and like, fuck, you need that one wrench that's like back in your toolbox at camp. Like Simon just hops on the motorcycle and goes and gets it and comes back. Like really, really invaluable person for like building art.
Sounds pretty great.
And has a lot of good stories and has good taste in whiskey.
News.
Boots and cats.
All the
and
news.
boots and
All the
cats, boots
news.
and cats,
All the
boots and cats,
news.
and boots and cats.
Did you have a favorite piece of art this year?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask this, so I thought about this.
That's
About this a
cheating.
lot.
Like it's something we've never asked before and really put her off her guard.
No, check it out. We pre-interviewed without pre-interviewing.
Yeah. See, I know
Great.
I know how the sausage gets made. I know what's up. So to tell you the story of my favorite piece of art this year, we have to go back to that pyrotechnics convention. So that convention happens at like some fairgrounds. And like it's so cool. Like if you guys have an interest in pyrotechnics, or if anyone listening has an interest in like learning how to make fireworks and like learning the kind of like science and engineering behind this, like look up Western Pyrotechnic Association.
Yeah, they have a link on the resources page of the NRA. So just go to the NRA.
Or like, you know, if you're a burner and you're interested in pyrotechnics, like show up and join the WPA to like bolster that weird contingent, right? Like we need more people who are doing this seriously and taking this seriously.
Come have Dave X's back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and like Dave X will retire someday.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Dave X will explode someday.
Yeah.
Yes, after he retires.
So we're at this convention. There's like, of course, one fucking shitty hot dog stand, right? Because it's like a fairground. So like that's just where everyone gets their food. We're like, all right. So we like we're standing in line getting lunch. And it's me and my partner, and he has this this hoodie on for another piece of art that he worked on in 2016 called Leotrata, which were these 3 moths with like a forced air turbine and fire and like really cool, crazy sculpture. And so he has this hoodie on, and this guy in front of us sees his hoodie and is like, oh, Leotrata, like, I volunteered with FAST. I remember inspecting that. Like, it was so cool. And like, how did you guys do this thing with the thing? And so they were like shooting the shit and like talking about that sculpture and like some of the engineering behind it. And I look at this guy's sweatshirt and I realize that it's a sweatshirt for Truckee Donner Fire, where my brother used to work.
Oh.
Now, my brother passed away in 2016.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And so this was 2019, so a couple years after. And so I look at him and I'm like, hey, you've got like a, Truckee Donner Fire. Like, do you work there? Like, are you firefighter?
Or is that stolen valor?
Yeah, or are you like, trying to like, well, because I've got one of those sweatshirts too, right? Because it's my family. So like, who knows, right?
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I work there. I'm a firefighter, paramedic. And I was like, did you know Win? And he looks at me and it's just like his face goes pale. He's like, Win was my brother. And I was like, Win was literally my brother.
Fuck you, Lynn was my brother.
I claimed him first.
Stolen valor, motherfucker. Then you stab him.
And he was there with like the rest of his company, and they were like,
Oh, wow.
oh, Casey. Oh, you're Casey. And because this was my half brother, and he was much older than me, so we didn't grow up together. Mm-hmm. But him and my half sister are the same age, and they were like, oh my God, how's Erica? Like, how's your dad? Like, and I'd probably met him at my brother's memorial, I think, but it was like, it was a whole scene. And so he was like, oh my God, like I can't, we just had this like crazy conversation. And I was like, wait, so like you volunteer at FAST? Like you go to Burning Man? He's like, yeah. I just got notice that I got honoraria funding for 2020 and we're going to like start fundraising and we're going to build the sculpture. And it was like, the second thing that he'd ever brought to Burning Man. It was going to be like much bigger than the first thing that he brought. And so we exchanged information. Like I added him on Facebook. And so we're like still in touch and stayed in touch throughout the pandemic. And then, of course, like Burning Man 2020 gets canceled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's what I hear.
I mean, who even knows what was going on? I don't remember 2020. Do you remember 2020?
It's a blur.
So he was supposed to, he got funding for 2020 and then like that got canceled. And then 2021 like also got squashed. Mm. But he still had they still honored the honoraria funding for 2022. So he got to spend 2 years building this thing and brought it out. And it was this like, oh God, M Theory Mechanica was the name of it. And it was like 3 kind of runs into a tower. There's like a specific word for it, but like you push pedals and it takes little golf balls up an elevator and then like links down in this like really, and there was like a bunch of stuff on the inside that the golf balls would hit.
Did you check it out this year?
Yeah. So we went out there like, I think right after they'd gotten signed off from FAST. And they had the thing, like everything was working and a bunch of the stuff that was on the inside that the balls were hitting were like chopped off fire extinguishers, which have a beautiful ring to them. Oh. It's actually like a really nice resonance. There was another sculpture this year that had a bunch of like fire extinguisher chimes. Yeah, so you like walk up and you kind of turn these pedals with your hands and it like takes these golf balls up. Yeah, and there was like a flame effect. So like, if everyone gets their balls in the air at the same time, like there's a poofer. And I showed up and like said hi and like got to like give him a big hug and he was like walking me through the sculpture and he's like, yeah, and a bunch of these golf balls I bought with your brother the last time that we were hanging out together in Reno. It's just like so fucking perfect. So like it wasn't the most spectacular piece of art. It wasn't the most like highly engineered like beautiful thing, but like it meant a lot to me to finally see that.
Yeah, that is a beautiful piece of art.
It was really good.
Do you have a all-time favorite?
It's such a cop-out to be like, stuff that I've worked on.
No, you've worked on the stuff you've worked on.
That is, you've worked hard on this shit.
I mean, like, DDI was really special.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That was a really, really special thing.
Just for a second, because we all skipped past it, DDI,
Dance Simulation,
is a take on DDR, Dance Revolution, which is an arcade game
from the 90s.
From the 90s that may still exist if arcades still exist.
Yeah, things still exist.
They
The
still have video
Wii
games
released
in
a
movie theaters.
pad of it.
Oh, yeah.
It eventually
For a while, all of the consoles got it. Now, you're going to have to remember, this is before Rock Band.
Yeah.
which means it's before Guitar Hero.
And it was before it got perfected with Beat Saber, which is so much better than
These were arrows that corresponded with arrows on the ground, what for you to dance on.
Yeah.
And you did. And it was fine. And you weren't that coordinated. But there were railings so you could hold on to them and not fall down. But sometimes you fell down.
So in this situation, DDI was doing DDR, a arcade game where you stamp on arrows in a particular order.
Indeed.
And then
To a
what
beat.
happens with DDI?
So the thing that happens if you miss enough steps is that you get shot in the face by 3 flame effects that are aimed at your general person. Now, the reason that you don't die is because you play this thing wearing a fully illuminized proximity firefighting suit, which also had a forced air mask that was creating a positive pressure system
To make sure you don't inhale the fire.
Exactly.
Because people do.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know it, makes playing DDR real easy.
Oh yeah. I mean, people like the funny thing about operating that is that like people would be good, right? Like people would actually,
people love DDR.
but no one wants to watch someone play DDI and do well,
Right.
Because like you want to watch them get
Yeah.
shot in the face with fire.
All schlubs all the time.
Yeah. So it was like it kind of created this like weird animosity between the players and the like audience.
Yeah, who is this motherfucker up there rolling sevens?
But if people were doing too well, we also had additional flame effects that were in front of the players that pointed up. So we could just trigger those and like you
freak
couldn't-
them out.
When you also couldn't see the screen.
Right.
Was it actual DDR games or was it your own programming?
If I remember right, there was like a low budget like open source version.
that sounds about right.
And it was like all the songs were like a little bootleg. Probably.
Baby got book.
It's just nothing but Weird Al.
I remember there was this like one song called Butterfly.
Butter,
like-
butter,
There's, like,
butterfly.
Like,
Yeah, I totally played that
is
one
gonna
in
be
the arcade.
Fucking last thing that I hear before I like walk through the pearly gates. Like it's gonna go dark. Like I'm gonna see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm gonna start walking towards it, and I'm just gonna hear like like fuck. Yeah, so fun story about those proximity firefighting suits. They have a lifespan, right? Because like, they're not actually designed to
Constantly be hit by streams
Yeah,
of fire.
Or be danced in.
It's not like chainmail. It's like Kevlar painted silver.
and they smelled so bad. They smelled so bad. You can't really wash them. Like you can't really dry.
Nah.
so hard.
Years and years
And panic
of
sweat,
hot-
too.
Yeah.
It's not just like, I'm healthy exercise sweat. It's like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
They just smell like fear and
There's different sorts of moans in there.
so like
D-Day, there's your title. Fear and Patchouli.
No, none of our titles will ever have patchouli. No one can spell patchouli.
but like when they built DDI, like the first iteration of this, you could buy these things off like eBay. Like you could buy a full like secondhand but like in good condition proximity firefighting suit. And then for some reason, a couple years later, it became illegal to resell secondhand firefighting gear. And like,
I get that.
did DDI have something to do with that?
No, insurance companies had something to do with that.
Probably. So, like, even if we wanted to run DDI again, like, we would not be able to buy the suits that we would need to make that happen.
With your touch, I have become obsessed. My head is delicate. From the top of the stairs, I can still smell the sweat. We are miraculous. Freak out.
Well, that was great. Loved that.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I do like Casey's 1 line a year rule.
It's good. It's much better than my
Solid.
no lines ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
You gotta occasionally give a thing a line.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure it's not the foam experience.
Like little guy.
What is-
Little guy we lined.
What is the most worthwhile line that you guys have been in?
Midnight Poutine?
Yeah, it's a really solid one.
Midnight Poutine was a magical one. I'm going to say the peppermint attack foam line. It wasn't a good line, but it was a transformative line. It was a line that pushed me as far as I have ever been pushed at Burning Man by like some bureaucratic bullshit.
So I'm actually gonna rescind my best line because Midnight Poutine is great. Like it's worth the line. I'll do it whenever I.
It's worth its weight in you.
But the observatory was my favorite line of all time.
The Black Rock Observatory?
No, this was an old art project. It was out in my first few years, 99, 2000, 2001, something like that. And it was a line to the frontage of an art piece on which there was a little dais with a lectern on it. And you would stand in the line, walk up onto the dais and look down into the lectern. And there was something incomprehensible happening in a video screen in the lectern. It was set up in such a way you could not make out what was happening. So you exit the dais and confused, and you walk around a corner to the room behind the dais where you realize that what you were looking at was a camera pointed straight up your skirt. As you're on the dais, you can hear the commotion of the people behind you reacting to you on the dais. And then the next time I saw it, they had expanded the experience. So after you went to the room of people witnessing the upskirt shot, you went to another room where people were watching the people watch the upskirt shot. It was just fantastic.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I love every part of that.
And it was all sculptural. Like the video screen that you were observing on was like on top of a fireplace mantle. And the structure was white fabric stretched on steel frames. I'm assuming is a long time ago, but it was perforated. There was a perforated image in it of somebody looking through binoculars printed like real big across the side of the
Nice.
It was so thoroughly, beautifully well done. Shout out to the observatory, and apologies if that's not actually the name of the art project.
But if you are the observatory
90%
folks,
positive it is.
please come on, tell us the name of your art. And while we're talking about it, tell us the name of your art, which is the trap house that we found by the fence this year.
Listeners, we have such a mystery.
It's not an art piece. I'm convinced.
We need an answer to this, or
however
so
long
many
season
answers.
6 is, we're going to keep asking for it unless we forget midway through.
So this incredible piece of art that we told you about in our Afterburn episode that we walked into that was so fucking funny, and then we thought had really confirmed how funny it was, is not the piece of art that we thought it was.
How is it like 4 months later and we're still, is it art? Is it not art? It ought be art.
Is it art?
That is the great question of questions, isn't it?
Let us know. Did you run into a house made of like fucking wood paneling and insulation in the middle of like, what was it? It's like 9:30.
Nah, like 11 o'clock
11
and
o'clock
trash fence.
And trash fence. Way out, but not all the way out. Like you wouldn't go by it if you were walking on the fence. And it is, I don't know, it looks like a poorly constructed room.
Big box.
Big box.
Full of what didn't appear to be any doors, but then we found a way.
But then there
in.
was one,
There was
and we
a door.
were in it. Did you make it? Let us know.
I ran into someone at the org holiday party that also camps in Illumination Village and enjoyed their new location as being more a part of a neighborhood.
Well, let's bring them in. We can do a podcast fight.
Oh, I liked it as a reminder that every single choice at Burning Man is going to piss people off and make other people happy.
It's also a pretty good illustration of why we do this podcast the way we do, because everybody has a totally different Burning Man experience. And so if we don't talk to just like huge swaths of people, we'll never get a pretty good idea of what the hell we do out there in the desert.
Yeah. Have you majorly disagreed with anything we've said? Come on in.
Yeah, please.
Are our guests completely wrong? Would you like to tell us why? Come on in.
Even our friend from our listener party who believes we're totally wrong about crypto.
Come on in.
Yeah. Hit us up. You gotta email us. We'll talk to you.
100%.
You can convince us.
He can convince us if his point is convincible.
I am a little bit nervous about Divers Up Guy.
I can't wait to meet Divers Up Guy. Have
we're
we
gonna
reached
meet him and
back
he's gonna
out to
call
Divers
it.
Up Guy?
None of us have responded.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
well, I don't
we should do
inbox
that.
the inbox. Speaking of, one of us inboxes the inbox. So if you email us at accuracythird@gmail.com, one of us will get back to you at some point, or email us again in like 3 weeks. Set a reminder. That second one, it really gets under our skin and sets a fire in the pants, if you know what I mean.
You can also find us on, I guess, Facebook, though we'd prefer not to. And who knows how long we'll be on Twitter because,
Till the very
hell is up
end.
with that. Maybe we'll get like a Mastodon instance or something. Who the fuck knows? We're always on Gmail. Find us on Gmail.
And we're vaguely on Instagram, although it's mostly pictures of the cats.
The cats are very cute.
They're so cute.
But don't just reach out to us to tell us the answer to our art mystery. Reach out to us because you want to be part of this podcast. Come on, tell us your stories. Come see us at our gorgeous little recording shack in Oakland. Much nicer than the mystery shack.
Shed.
Yeah, this isn't
a
a shack.
shed.
Yeah, you fucking a shack. I fucking this shed.
You don't tell me where I do and don't fuck.
We haven't fucked on the shed.
Yeah.
No, it's
see?
real cold out here.
Wow.
Yeah. Wait.
I mean, it's lovely.
Not for
visitors.
Pennsylvanians.
Come visit our not at all cold recording shed, not shack in Oakland, or you can call in. We have the technology. We can do it.
Accuracy Third is produced by Accuracy Third. The music in this episode is by Me Rex. You can find Me Rex on Bandcamp. You should download their EP and give them like $5 or however much it is for it. It's a really good EP. I listen to it all the time.
And today's episode was edited by D-Day.
Thanks for listening.
With your touch, I have become obsessed. My head is delicate. From the top of the stairs, I can still smell the sweat. We are miraculous. Freak accidents, we are blessed. Nothing matters, think about sex. There's a chaos that only comes to every living thing once. Indifferent to your unmade connections. Then in a second, it's gone. And those were days of gold. At the time, we didn't know. But crystallized and brittle snow was always gonna melt back into the heat and smoke. And me, I pray out loud. It's basically all I do now. Those were days of gold, I just found out.
I met another Casey recently who spelled it the same way that I do. And he was like, yeah, this my name is a compromise because my parents wanted to name me Karate Chop.
Nice. Holy shit.
And I was like, holy fuck, that is so much cooler than how I got my name.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, they're trying to call me Crab Cake, but they didn't even know that like crab starts with a C.
Oh, the moment I realized that, I would have just changed my name forever.
to Karate Chop.
Yeah. Fuck you, folks.
Like your parents can't fucking tell you not to at that
This was my
point.
destiny. You wanted this.
How
You
did you rob me
chose
of
this.
this?
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to need to be enrolled in martial arts, please.
News.
Boots and cats.
All the
and boots and
news.
cats and boots and
All the
cats and
news.
boots and cats and
All the
boots and cats
news.
and boots and cats.